Hi, Holly. Welcome, everyone else. Thank you for tuning in on the replay. How are you doing, Holly? It's going good over here. Strange happenings, but yeah, I'm I'm certain that the solar activity and the Schumann craziness is what is making everything operate like Mercury in retrograde. I'm convinced of it. Crazy. Just people coming back around that have been blocked and blocked and blocked. That somehow, I don't know, it's nuts, man. I'm glad you're doing well. How are you feeling? Hey, Kara. I'm gonna tag everybody. And the cards that came out, I didn't pay attention to all of them. Oh, shit. No, don't leave. But the ones that I that I do see are a little strange. Just like some happenings today. So we'll see. You guys are aware of a comeback round of energy from yesterday if you're watching. So on that note, we're just gonna do some Palo. Got some house stuff done today. Awesome. I've been getting house stuff done too. Not today. I've been doing other things. I got called for jury duty. Not called, but I got a letter in the mail thing, a summons. And I was like, y'all do not want me on that jury duty. So I'm waiting for them to call me back, but my phone's on do not disturb because I called them hours ago. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to get out of it. It's in another town. And I was like, I got 3 kids and no babysitters. So what you want me to do? Oh, fun stuff. Shit has been wild, man. It's been wild. I forgot. Well, we were in the middle of a conversation before I had to get, the podcast going. So I'll finish telling you about yesterday. But yeah, it's crazy. Hey, Corey. How are you, beauty? Nice to see you. Give everyone a couple of minutes to file in. Semi-shortish reading, maybe. We'll see. You know how the bottom of the deck likes to chat, but I didn't pull a shit ton of cards. So a lot of it is really, really good, but then there's some kind of wonky stuff. And yeah, the energy has been wild lately. Hi, Susan. How are you, beauty? So glad to see you in here live. Oh, all right. Hi, Shauna. Hi, Matt. Welcome, welcome. You guys are just in time. I haven't even started yet. And the reason of the topic today is because it has been coming up in the readings lately about pivoting, if something's not working, to get creative and think outside the box and create your own opportunities. So I wanted to talk a little bit more in depth about that as a topic. So we're going to talk about when we're feeling that tight squeeze and nothing really is working out, what we can do with that energy. Nasty abscess tooth. Oh, let's send Corey some healing. Lots and lots of healing. Goodness. Those are horrible. And I don't know if you have olive leaf extract yet because I preach about it all the time. But that stuff really kicks it in the ass. So it helps to heal it much quicker than just the antibiotics alone. You can take them in conjunction with antibiotics if you're doing that. But yeah, and clove oil will help with the pain depending on how much pressure it's putting on your nerves. You're on time for once. We're so happy to have you. All right, let's get started. I know it's a Monday, and for our US folks, a lot of them are still at work. So we're not going to have everybody showing up today, but that's all right. I know they're going to catch the replay. So hello on replay. All right. I have to move my stuff around because I didn't make enough room for my deck to sit nicely where I like it. Okay. Oh. Yeah, Susan, have you got Annie's scan results back yet, or is that still something you're waiting on? Sometimes you got to wait, depending on what it is or where it's done. But being in Portland, I would assume it would be pretty quick results. Okay. Shall we begin? I'm laughing just because you guys will see. Sage and cleanse. Just like I started out with this Palo Santo, with some funky weirdo energies coming back around that's been blocked and blocked. Made a rinse with coconut oil, comfrey, cloves, and something else. Awesome. Yeah, um if you can get olive leaf fairly quickly, or unless you have it on hand, you can also make, like, put some gauze with olive leaf extract on there and put it directly on the tooth. It'll taste bitter because olive leaves are bitter. But that, and then taking the oral dosage, I would do 3 times a day, until it starts to, dissipate really well. And then you can go down to 2 times a day. But that's what worked for me, way quicker than the antibiotics. Like, I did antibiotics in conjunction with it because just all of a sudden one day I woke up with an abscess and my whole face was like swollen. I don't remember which side which side it was, but it was one of those, one of two. I got a 50% chance of being right. But I went to the ER and I was like crying. I was in such intense pain, and the pain medication that they gave me was not working, and it was just awful. So they gave me these really strong antibiotics, but I also started the olive leaf immediately, and it healed quicker than any other. I had an abscess one other time, and it was like 3 or 4 years before that. So yeah, meeting with her neuro-oncologist on Thursday. Okay, thank you, Susan. Keep us updated. You love your reading yesterday. You watched it again? Oh, yay. Awesome, Matt. Thank you. I love that. So, Sage and Cleanse, with these crazy ass energies coming up. We've got 2 portals also that we're, moving through. Still, we have that energy. So, when we're stepping onto another timeline or something like that, we will have, those older energies surface for us to say, you're not coming through with me. We're not going to take that to this timeline. So yeah, get some for sure. Dude, it's a miracle. There's a reason why the olive tree has been regarded for healing for so many thousands of years. I'm seeing myself like glitching. I'm sorry, you guys. Hopefully you're getting the information, but yeah, the olive tree itself has been worshipped and regarded as a healer. It's an ancient healing remedy. Olive oil, everyone knows all of the benefits of that. So olive leaf is really beneficial for everything, and I mean everything. Like, if there's some kind of imbalance or some kind of dis-ease or illness or anything like that, Google if olive leaf works for that, and I guarantee you that it does. It's crazy. I've done it for so many things, and I've never got to know. So Sage and Cleanse, these crazy ass energies that be showing back up. Hey, Princess, how are you? Because this is spiritual protection. You're cleansing your energy. You're cleansing the energies around you. Um, you know, spiritual hygiene is a must. So definitely double up on the spiritual hygiene right now, especially if you're feeling um, like vulnerable or extra sensitive or anything like that. Um, or if you got these wonky energies coming back around, because this relationship was a lesson. I'm finally in sync. Okay, I don't know what is going on with, because I don't even have my Wi-Fi hooked, like connected to my phone right now. It's working on um, the mobile network, and that mobile network is solid here. So I don't know, but this relationship was a lesson. Cleanse yourself of all the energies, let go of, like, if you still have items from this person or these people or these situations, things that remind you of these things. Like, I've known of people that keep legal documents like 30 years after the fact, right? Because they want to have them just so they can say, this is who wronged me and this is what happened, and they just can't let it go. And obviously they're never going to need those things again. If anything, a statute of limitations is probably run up by then, right? So it's holding on to things, even physical items that remind you of negativity, past traumas, you know, things like that. If you're going to need paperwork and things like that for, you know, a purpose later on, don't burn it, don't throw it away, but don't destroy it if you're going to need it for something, right? But if it's just there and it's reminding you of trauma, pain, hey Jay, love you, then it's time to let go of that, because you're just carrying that energy through to your now. And I will not keep things from past relationships. I will not. No matter what kind of relationship it is, I will not. I will get rid of it. I will give it away and donate it to someone who could use that. And, you know, I don't have any more of that person's energy in that item or those items or whatever. So I don't know who needs to get rid of shit, but you need to get rid of shit. Do some spring cleaning. Is my car fixed yet? About that. I picked it up on Wednesday night, and I had it back. And then I was going to go to town on Saturday, so I went to the car wash, and I stopped to do tire shine after the car wash, you know, to make it look nice before I left town. And I heard like a tick, 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 tick sound, and I'm like, oh, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. So I popped the hood, and I could see this little part down there, like a pulley looking thing down there. And I was like, oh no, it's rocking. Like, and it's the serpentine belt, the belt that runs all the shit, right? And I'm like, oh no. So I took a video and I sent it to Mikey and Andy, my two mechanic buddies. And Mikey was busy working, so he didn't get to it till the evening. But Andy's the one that actually did all the work fixing my head gaskets and stuff. And he's like, no, that's not supposed to happen. Just don't drive it. I'll come by and check it out. So he came by and checked it out, and it is the harmonic balancer. And he said it looked perfectly fine when he was putting everything back together, because he replaced everything that looked like it needed replaced. He's like, that looked fine when I put it on there, but it decided it's a Me Too movement. So it was like, no, I'm gonna be broken too, so you can fix me. So we have the part ordered. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, and then Wednesday morning he's gonna be able to get on just fixing that. And I got a new serpentine belt, so we can just replace it all at the same time and not have any other issues with it. So that's the story with my car. We're almost there, but not quite. It is running beautifully though, except for the fact that, you know, that happened, and the issue with it dying sometimes because of wiring. So it's almost sorted. Thanks for asking, Matt. uh, no, the timing chain actually was fixed. It doesn't have a belt on it, a timing belt. It's a timing chain, and that was already fixed when he did the head gaskets. But this is the serpentine belt, the belt that runs like the alternator and the water pump and like all the stuff that it needs to have working in order to operate. So, yeah. So do your spiritual protections, clean out that old energy. If you have items from previous experiences that were not, you know, ultimately at the end of things were not positive for you, didn't impact you positively, that remind you of negative things, of past pains, traumas, or just people in general, then it's time to get that shit out. You have new coming in, and I'm going to tell you about that in a minute, but Seven of Cups, it is showing in the reverse. So in this aspect, it's like a fear of what's in those cups, because on the other side, there's a smiling little golden face, and he's like, oh, like, awesome. But now he's just like, this is kind of dark. There's no one here. I don't know what's in those cups. This is freaking me out a bit. I'm up to my nipples in water. So you could be up to your nipples in water, and emotions, you know, these things that are surfacing, these things that are being triggered, that are meant for you to cleanse, to free yourself from. Thank you, Matt. At this point, everything will be brand new on my car, so it'll be perfect for at least another 150,000 miles, I'm sure. So instead of being fearful of what's to come or what opportunities may be coming your way, it's time to cleanse yourself of that anxiety or that fear. Because whenever you are in anxiety or fear, when you're in the anticipation of something happening, or you're being very fearful, or a little too, you know, how do I want to say this? Nitpicky, you know, a little too watchful for red flags. It's like, watch for the green ones too. Okay. Don't get yourself into that expectation of something bad happening, because you are overcoming that. You're stepping through this portal into a new way of existing. So, hi, Anna. How are you? Gorgeous. Love you. So you're stepping through this portal into a new way of existing. And whenever you're trying to bring those old thoughts, old patterns, you know, those old ideas, those beliefs, expectations into your now, when you're manifesting from a much higher platform, a much higher frequency, you can bring that old energy back through, and then kind of just screw everything up as your manifestation is unfolding, because now that expectation of something negative is more often than not going to manifest that result. So balance yourself. It's not to say gloss over all the red flags and just ignore everything. Follow your intuition, use your discernment, but balance your mind, balance your thoughts, balance your expectations. I'm good. I'm doing really good. Excited to get my car back again. This is the second psych that it's happened. So yeah, it's not as big of a psych this time. So just something real easy, and then we're back to normal. But balance yourself. You've done a lot of work. Eight of Pentacles, you've done the work. Okay. The backside of this is he's starting on it. They're not manifest yet, but he's, you know, he's starting to put the work in. This side, he's put all that work in. He's damn near finished. So you have done all of the work. They're saying there's nothing else for you to do. You don't need to expect, you know, negativity, because when you expect those negative things or those past patterns, that's what you bring into your present. Hi, Culture Envy. Thanks for joining us again. So we have the Nine of Wands. Hi, Celine. How are you, gorgeous? Nine of Wands showing up. This is the reversal. But in this aspect, when this card came out, the Nine of Wands is usually about placing boundaries, right? He's kind of guarding his space at the top of this mountain, protecting, you know, what is his. He put that barrier up. But now he, you know, he's got this female just dancing around in front of his little barrier there, and he's like, hey, I kind of like you. I feel like I can be a little vulnerable with you. Why don't you let me take one of these wands out and let you pass through, and we'll see what's up, you know. Let's date. Let's go hang out. Let's get to know each other. Let's, you know, be open to this situation. So that Nine of Wands in the reverse, it's like being able to let your guard down, because you've done the work. You don't have to be so guarded all the time. You don't have to worry about these past things, because you have that discernment. You have those experiences to add to your growth, to add to your discernment. So you're at this space now where you trust your intuition, you trust your guidance system, and you're going to listen to it no matter what. They want a new beginning. And this can be seen in a good way, and this can also be seen in a not so great way. And I'll tell you about that in a second. Part of consciously manifesting is expecting the outcome you want, not the opposite of that. Exactly, Anna. Exactly. Oops. There we go. Because when we expect anything, that's usually what manifests, right? Usually, because sometimes there's some stuff in there you didn't clear out, and it's weighing your frequency down just enough to where it's not fully manifesting. So there are other components at play, yes, but mostly manifestation is about being conscious and working with your expectations, working with your emotions. So that is absolutely more than part of conscious manifestation. Thank you, Anna. So this is, you've done the work, you can put your guard down, you can entertain this situation where this person wants a new beginning. We do have the Knight of Wands, and this isn't the Knight of Wands in the reverse. So it's not like that fuckboy energy. Okay. This is, I see what I want, I know what I want, and I'm going to act on it. This is seizing opportunity. This is, I heard passionate inspiration. That's not what I was going for, but that's, they blocked every other thought, every other word from my mind. So passionate inspiration. Follow your passions. Allow them to inspire you, because you are moving towards your sun. Okay, happiest card in the deck, and it came out in the upright. First card out. Okay, so you are walking towards your sunshine, towards your source, towards your fulfillment, ultimate fulfillment. So now, for this little side quest here, they want a new beginning and someone copies you. Someone could be using you. Someone could be coming back around from the past that used you before, or copied your shit before, or, you know, wanted to be all up in your business before, whatever it is. Somebody wanted to be you. Someone wanted what you have. Someone wanted to take your job. Someone wanted to take your friend. I don't care what it is. Okay. But they may be coming back around, and it's not, it's not out of good intentions. We have burden here. Card number 10, okay, burden. That is laying down the burden. 10 is endings and conclusions, okay? This situation is probably only ultimately going to turn out to be a burden. We also have the 5 of Wands here with that explosive volcano in the background. So this is, they're like, friend or foe? It's a foe, not a friend. So I don't know, like the frenemy thing is coming up too. Somebody pretending to be friendly to your face when all the time they're just trying to use you to get to something that they want, or, you know, whatever their agenda is. Right behind that, we also have the 8 of Swords, and this 8 of Swords is the reverse. We have that bald eagle flying above. This signifies freeing yourself from the 8 swords, okay? Because in the upright, she's got her blindfold on. She's loosely tied up with that rope. There's swords around her, imprisoning her. But you guys got the reversal here. So there's that eagle symbolizing freedom. You're about to stand up, cut that rope, or just, you know, stand up and let it fall off you because it's so loosely woven. And it's not a real prison. It's just your thoughts. So freeing yourself from the prison of your own thoughts, and freeing yourself also from the expectation or from the pattern of manifesting these people into your life that ultimately don't have, you know, your best, they don't have the best of intentions for you. They're going to cause a lot of confusion. And that, okay, that's why that card was the first one out. Okay, a lot of confusion. They're not coming in for clarity. It's, if you do allow them in, you will receive clarity eventually, but you'll be receiving clarity on just how chaotic and confusing this energy is and how it does not resonate for you. But in doing so, you are also choosing to go back to that platform where you were manifesting all that kind of energy before. So you're like 3 steps back out of your portal. Okay. Instead of 1 step forward, 2 steps back, it's 3 steps back. They're like, this is, better. Ancient wisdom, better. And they're like, this is also not a new situation with this soul, with this being. They've done you dirty in past lives too. Okay. It doesn't matter how much they glitz and glamour up the facade and how sweet and wholesome and kind and loving and spiritual they come off to be. It does not matter. That's their mask. The masks are falling off. Eventually you'll see it. Okay. And you might see it right away and say, no, we're not going down that path. And if so, then that's you passing that lesson. Okay. That relationship was a lesson and you knew it. You're divinely protected. So you're not entertaining that shit anymore. You're clearing that shit out of your life. This was protection. Okay. All right. I love you, Corey. So you're moving into balance. We have movement into balance on the bottom of the deck here. You're learning to balance. You're learning, who is worthy and deserving of your precious time and energy and who is not. You're in your divine feminine, which is, yes, open to receive, but only that which is worthy of receiving me. Okay. So you're putting down the struggle. You're letting that shit go. You're not fighting that uphill battle anymore. You're not a salmon anymore. Okay. Always be the eagle. Yes. Changes. Masculine energy. So we got divine feminine, divine masculine. You're balanced. Okay. You've integrated your energies. Card number 33, integration. Ascended master energy, new day, card number 11, right there. 3311. All right. How can it get any better? It resonates. Awesome. I love it. Thank you, Shauna. You are stepping through a magical gateway. The fairies said so. Okay. You always have to believe the fairies. It takes courage and trust to venture into the unknown, yet this is where all the greatest rewards are. It's time to step boldly forward without looking back. And she's walking through that portal. The door's unlocked. It flung open. There's fucking magical glitter and sparkly shit coming out of it, beckoning you to it. Why don't you step through it? Just believe, trust. Know that where you're being led and guided is exactly where you're meant to go. You've grown so much. Inner journey. You've done the work. You've done the work. The proof is in the pudding, baby. That's what they said. The proof is in the pudding, baby. So you're about to have some manifestations. They talked about manifestations already. You're about to have some manifestations that really, truly prove to you just how magical you are. Fairy spotting on that note. It's time to go fairy spotting. It's said that seeing is believing, but in fact, the opposite is true. Believing is seeing. Exactly. Just like I talked about from the beginning. It's you have to have these expectations on what it is you want instead of regressing back to those old expectations of the old energies that you were manifesting. Set those pure intentions. Don't focus on even the current manifestations of the past energies. Okay? Because your current energy, the current environment reflected back to you is from what you manifested from before. Okay. So you are now manifesting something completely different, but you also have the evidence of everything that manifests from the old energy that you were vibing at. Okay. But you've done the work, they said. So you have to get used to this new platform, this new higher frequency, and get used to the expectations and all of the positive things that come in as a result. That's why they're like, stop searching for red flags. Just stop. Because you go searching for something, you're going to find it. Just like if you go to a doctor, you're perfectly healthy and you go and you go and you go and you go, like there has to be something wrong. There has to be something wrong. They're going to find something wrong eventually, right? It's just, that's how it goes. So you go seeking out something that's wrong, that's completely off, whenever it doesn't seem like that or feel like that to begin with, but you're like, I know that this is, there's got to be something wrong, because every other time I thought, oh, this is too good to be true, and it was. But you've done the work, you've done the inner work, you've done all of that shadow work, you've come to terms with, you've forgiven, you have healed all of these things, and you've started manifesting amazing things. So at the first time, you have this residual energy come back around and say, hey, wafting that smell of that old energy in front of you, you want this again? You want it? No? Okay, we're going to take it out now. Or, oh, you want it? Okay, here you go. They're going to serve it up. All right. So when that happens the first time, and you just get down on yourself and say, oh, nothing's changed, I'm back to square one, nothing's working, all of this shit is bullshit, like, you're screwing things up for yourself. You are taking yourself back down. Only if you stay there. Okay. This is important, because you will come to these situations. You'll have these emotions and these thoughts. And whenever you have these things, it doesn't mean that automatically you're back down to square one. This just means you still also have some emotions and things to transmute. So transmute them. Feel those things, because they're valid emotions. They wouldn't be here if they weren't. You have them, so they are valid. So validate those, feel them, express them, be angry, be sad, be whatever you need to be. Express it in a healthy way and let it move through you, and then put your big girl panties back on and keep moving forward. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I tell everyone to put their big girl panties on. So use that pure intention, okay? Tap into that sacral energy. That's creation juice, guys. That's the creation stuff. So we have journey and we have teaching. It's time to prepare for a journey. It may be impromptu or planned. Either way, make sure you're ready when the time comes. Pack your passport now. You might be going on an actual trip. If so, cool, take me with you. But if not, then this is that inner journey. We just had that inner journey card. This is meant to teach you, okay? And it's teaching you so you can learn, and then you can pass that knowledge down to others. You can say, hey, I've been where you are. But you know what worked for me? This, and that. It may or may not work for you. Take what resonates. But this is what worked for me. And I was there once before. And even if you don't choose the path that I chose to get out of it, look, I'm the example that I've done it. You can figure your own way out of it too. So it's all about the journey. And I talked to somebody about this the other day. Yeah, I know who it was. I talked to somebody about this the other day. Like, you're so hell-bent on getting to the destination that you're missing the journey. You're missing the details. You're missing the experience. And this is something that is usually very prevalent in, spiritual volunteers, the waves, the star seeds, the earth seeds, the, whatever you want to call them, light workers, shadow workers, all of them. Okay. Whatever label, throw it in here. They're all welcome. When you are one of these beings, generally we're not from this specific planet and used to incarnating here, right? That's why we're here, to volunteer, to help them get out of that loop, out of that pattern, because we're bringing, we're breaking up that pattern with these far reaching and higher frequencies. So we expect things to instantaneously manifest, because in most experiences that we're used to having from our soul's experience, we have instantaneous manifestation. It's just a thing. Okay. But whenever you volunteer for a place that's still running on analog, such as Earth, because we're here to set it up for digital, right? We're going to have frustrations with things not operating digitally because it's still stuck on analog, So it's something that we do grapple with, the frustration, the being let down, like we're not doing it good enough, or we're not doing enough, or we're not, we don't know how to do it, or whatever. It's not that. It's just that this plane takes like physical time, because that's a concept here. It takes this physical time to, run through until the thing starts to really manifest. Energetically, it's there. And you'll see signs of it. You'll have, all of these signs popping up that show you it's here, it's here, it's here. And you're like, yeah, where the fuck is it? It's here, it's in the ether, but it hasn't fully tangibilized yet, because we are in this space time, you know, uh, before we, just totally break that up too. But we're kind of stuck in that before we get to the good stuff. So we still have to operate from those kinds of rules. So expecting that time is just a thing that has to happen so that these things can tangibilize. This plane has a buffer when it comes to manifestations. Yeah, exactly. Just know, know that you are so aligned and ready to receive. Yes, Matt, love it. So it is all about the journey. It's all about the experience and what that experience, that journey has to teach you. Okay. And even if you fall down and skin your knee, you learned not to go up on that cliffside again, right? Hopefully it's all you get is a skinned knee if you're on a cliffside. But so it's just, oh, I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to not look where I'm stepping next time, because when I do that, there's a good chance that I'm just going to fall and fuck myself up. So you learn what to do and what not to do. You improve, you grow, you transform, and you become more wise with that ancient wisdom card. You're remembering the ancient wisdom that you inherently bring through with you, but you're also learning more, because being in this 3D space takes a lot more efforting. And that's why we get frustrated. Why does it take so much effort? But we're understanding deeper what we already know inherently and what functions better in other realms, other planes of existence. We're applying that now to a very tangible, very dense place that takes time and density and all of these other things for something to come into fruition. So we're deepening our understanding of the law of attraction, and not just the law of attraction, just manifestation in general. But with this deeper understanding, there's other worlds that we're going to be creating, that we're going to be applying these new, energies to. So it's all about the journey. It's all about the experience. It's all about what you are learning and how you are growing. Reunion of souls. Again, if you haven't already started to experience this, you're going to experience soul family, people gravitating towards you, the people that you just meet and it just seems like, oh, there you are. I knew you were here somewhere. I've been looking for you for eons. Like, oh yeah, I forgot. We used to chill, you know? So it's having these reunions, these true soul connections that help you to feel like, hey, I can let my guard down and I can be vulnerable. She don't look so mean. I think maybe I'll let her in. Maybe she can tend to my little wounded eye here. Because that dude's got a he's got an eye patch, man. He got fucked up. He was fucked up before through wars and battles and, betrayals and all of these things. And he's put up his boundaries. Nobody's coming in. And then he sees this beautiful, just sweet looking person. And he's like, oh, maybe I can trust you. You don't feel so scary. You feel like someone that maybe I can let in and, get to know. So let your guard down a little bit, but wish wisely. Use your wishes wisely to manifest your heart's desires and take practical steps toward making your dreams come true. So this is applying that action, but trusting, okay, trusting that everything is coming to you in divine timing when you are meant to receive it. And it's not a trick. Again, wish wisely, they're not saying be careful what you wish for, but they kind of are. But it's like, set the intentions, place your wishes, be mindful of what you're wanting to manifest, right? That's like square one. But also be wise about it. Don't be giving your energy to concern, to anxiety, to worry about, is this going to come to fruition or not? Just set it and forget it, like the infomercial. Because next to that wish wisely card is that sun, and they're both right in the center of the deck. So you are stepping through this beautiful portal, this transformative portal. You're releasing all of these things that kept you in captivity, that, you know, kept you in volatile situations and volatile energy. You're moving into this new state of being. Page of Pentacles, that's a glowing ass pentacle. That is everything that you want, need, and deserve coming to you, because you trust it, because you believe it, because you've done the work. And you can trust that these people that are gravitating to you now, your soul tribe, these people that you know, even upon first meeting them in this lifetime, they have good intentions. They just, you can tell the difference, okay? You are divinely protected. You've already cleansed out those energies, so keep going, okay? They want a new beginning, and they have good intentions. Your love inspires others, is what I heard. That heart, your energy ripples out and inspires others, but it says your love, they said your love inspires others. So keep going. Be mindful, but be vulnerable whenever it's warranted, whenever you feel comfortable and safe. Um, you know, you don't need to set yourself up for failure. If you're feeling some type of way about a situation, like, I don't know about this one, then that's when you take a pause and go deeper and see what that's about, because you don't want to be ignoring your intuition just because you're like, oh, that's probably just from before. That's just from trauma. You know, I know I've done a lot of work, but that's got to be the trauma speaking. Sometimes it's not. Okay. So just be mindful. But be open, and don't expect negativity. Don't expect it to be a trick or a too good to be true thing. Just expect that you'll be led and guided exactly where you need to go, and you're going to learn something along the way. Love you. Oh, cool. We're making good time. That's a good thing, because I got kids to pick up in about 40 minutes. So we got plenty of time. So what happens whenever you're frustrated and things aren't coming to fruition and you're like, why am I going back over this again? Things are not working out, which actually kind of did come up in that reading a little bit. You're welcome, Susan. I love you. So we can just keep trying to make it work, trying to beat a dead horse, right? Thank you, Anna. Love you. We can, you know, it's like, say you have a project, some kind of hobby, whatever it is. You've got some kind of project going, and you come to a situation where maybe you need this tool or you need this piece for your project to create this thing, but the last one that you had is broken and you don't have anything that you can use in its place. You looked for everything. You've tried ordering the thing, but everyone's out of it online and you can't find it, and you're trying to track down a store and it's like nothing, nowhere has this thing. Change the design a little bit. Okay. Tweak the design. Start improvising. What else can you do? How can you make it better? What direction can you use that energy, that momentum, and that will be, you know, that will flow more easily. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Matt. So I've been talking to people about this lately, because there's actually quite a few people that are experiencing you know, different different kind of ends of the spectrum on this same energy. There are those who have just used it to create and have made opportunities and have like been shocked at what they've created in like the most beautiful and exciting way. And it's like surprises are popping off and they're like, this is getting better than I even anticipated. Like, what's going on here? Which can lead some people into that, is this too good to be true type of energy, you know? So you have to come to terms with that and integrate those energies as you go along. And that's a perfectly natural part of experiencing that energy. But there are others who are feeling like they're in such a tight squeeze right now, like they're feeling like their back's against a wall, they're backed into a corner, like they don't know a way out. They're starting to feel anxiety or just, you know, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to do about this situation. So whenever you feel that way, it's time to really look at why you're holding on so tightly to, you know, this trajectory, like why you're so focused on this and there's no wiggle room here. And see if there's something, a reason that you may be blocking yourself until you resolve that issue, and then things can really move forward. Otherwise, it's like, no, this is divine redirection. This is, you're meant for something greater, something better. You're meant to expand, or you're meant to pivot and do something differently. So it's all about following your intuition, because every single situation is going to be different, because everyone has different energies and we're all experiencing similar energies. But you know, the manifestations, all the components to the situation are different. So we'll have varied manifestations of that energy. Excuse me. Ugh, my nose is starting to run now. The waters are beginning to flow. Most of the time, whenever I tap in, my nose starts to get runny. So I'll like tickle it, like tickles and itches, or I'll be sniffing a lot. But anyway, when it's third eye and crown chakra related, it just makes the waters flow. And you guys know, if you use your psychic abilities for anything, you know when it happens. Because it probably happens to you too. So what happens if you've tried everything and there's nothing else you can throw at it, and things are still just not going the way that you want them to go, or more problems are arising? It's time to really take a step back and see, okay, what else can I do that will get me a similar result, that I, you know, this result that I want, but perhaps a different path to getting that. Like if you are trying to get your business to move forward and there's nothing that is changing with that, you're not having a lot of growth, or you're not having a lot of ideas or inspiration. It's like, sometimes you get to like writer's block, you know, writers get that, they call it writer's block. But it can happen with anything. Roundhouse and New Earth Plateau. I do not know what's going on with the friggin' internet right now. Your eyes start to water too. Yep, that's the psychic waters flowing. So if that happens to you when you're getting like downloads or inspiration, guidance, or if you're doing psychic work of any kind, that's what's going on. It's your psychic waters flowing. You got tickly nose. Yeah, a lot of times I'll get a tickly nose, and that can be a download, like, you know it, you know, your nose knows. A lot of stuff happens with my nose. I smell spiritually too, so it's fun. It's just, yeah, odd. Normal people don't get it, and they're like, I get a lot of looks like I'm nuts, but it's okay. I'm used to it. um, the voice is still kind of coming in and out a little bit from a couple weeks ago when my, you know, I had that throat thing, but still doing good. Anywho, a lot of people will get really down in despair, like down on themselves, about their abilities, about, you know, they'll have a lot of times, like, what are those called? Like a midlife crisis type thing, you know, where it's like what you planned for yourself or what you wanted for yourself turns out to be not really what you wanted, or not really what you planned, or things didn't go as planned. And now it's like that you're at this crisis point where you can't stand your life and you have to really change things. It doesn't always have to be that huge. It can just be with situations, okay? It doesn't always have to be some huge catastrophic situation, because we're all experiencing these energies differently. But hey, Suzanne, love you. Drive safely. So whenever we come to this point, yes, it's okay to feel those emotions because again, they're there, so they are valid. You have them, therefore they are valid. So, entertain those emotions for a little bit. Feel them. Feel what they feel like. Feel where they came from. Feel why they're still there. Express them. Cry, get angry, scream into a pillow, go punch a punching bag, go to the gym, go for a run, go for a walk. Dance, shake your ass, sing, get it out in some way. But expressing that energy and letting it go and then saying, okay, now it's time to really, pull up my bootstraps and we're going to do something about this, because we are in this tangible realm where it takes action to get anything done. You have to do some kind of physical action to get anything done here. Okay. So have your moment, have your week, have your day, have your hour, whatever it is. And then, okay, I'm going to integrate, I'm going to align my energies, and we're going to get back to the drawing board. How else can we make this happen in a way that maybe we didn't plan before? What else, what other components of this situation, or what other energies or resources do I have that I can draw on to advance my situation? So that may look like, okay, this program, this course, this service, this product, whatever it is, if it's business related, okay, isn't quite working. Is there, like, do we have good stuff here? Is there things that we can take out or things that we can add, different components where we can kind of dress it up a bit more to make it more appealing or give it more value, more appeal somehow? Or do we need to just, scrap this idea and start over fresh? And sometimes starting over fresh and scrapping that previous idea or just putting it on the back burner for now is what will help to refresh that energy and start getting those creative juices flowing. Going out in nature or doing something that you enjoy doing, anything where you're working from that sacral energy is going to be very helpful to help you get over the slip. Even, sexual energy, whether that's solo or with a partner, it doesn't matter, can help you to get that creativity going again. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Yes, I love Dory. She's like my favorite. I haven't seen that movie in forever, but still love her character. She's kind of like me a little bit, because I'm like, hey, what was that? I forgot what you said 2 seconds ago. Can you repeat that? So instead of allowing yourself to get beat down and stay down and say, you know what, I'm just not worth it, I guess, my whole life has proven to me thus far that every single negative thing I experienced, there was really no positive. And now I'm just creating, more negative, and I'm just meant to live a negative, disgusting, like worthless life. If that's what appeals to you, then go ahead and stay there. But if that's not how you want to feel, then only you can change. Okay, you're the only one that can change the reflection. Your external circumstances are a mirror. Okay, and just because you don't really like what you see in that reflection right now doesn't mean that it's not already changing. Okay, because you have to remember, you volunteered for this very dense reality where it takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort to get things going. Okay, but you also have to offset that with that expectation, that knowing, that magnetizing, drawing these energies to you. Don't get in the way of the flow of energy. And with that energy, when there's divine inspiration, flow with it. Take the action. Don't try to make things happen if they're not happening, because you're just focusing on the lack of the situation and the fact that nothing you're doing is making it happen. So what else do you expect that you're going to manifest? You're going to manifest it not happening. Okay, so break that pattern, get out of that. Think outside the box, allow yourself to open up in that divine feminine energy to see other possibilities or potentials. What do? We swim. swim, swim. Oh, 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 I love to swim. Probably just busted all y'all's eardrums, but it's okay. You hang out with me for a reason, right? um, so do you guys have any stories or anything that you've experienced where either you kept hitting that wall and it caused you to have to, get creative with it, or maybe where you were like, oh, I see that wall, I'm just going to go around it, I'm just going to go ahead and think outside the box and create my opportunities now so I don't even have to hit that wall. Let me know what you got going on. Even if you're watching the replay, throw the comments in there. I will see them. Probably. If Facebook notifies me, I will see them and I will respond or react to them. But a lot of times they do not notify me. And that's the thing with a lot of people, I guess, is we don't get our notifications that often. I've had those situations. I've shared them with you guys before, a lot of them, but we'll do it again. Like, I've moved states a few times, and every single time almost that I moved states, it was either to move with a significant other, to start life in a new state, or to leave said significant other and go somewhere else. And every single time I felt it coming, and I would start, the idea machine, like, okay, when is my exit? What does it look like when it's time for me to go? And like with my daughter's father, that was the first one. I was 18 when I moved to Kansas, and then I was 21, I think, or almost 21 whenever I left. Oh, I love you, Wendy. Thank you. Thanks for popping in. But so that situation, it wasn't like abusive, or we weren't fighting or anything like that. It just wasn't working. He was never home, and he wouldn't get another job because, at the time I didn't realize autism. Like, there was hangups with that because it was something that they were used to and comfortable with, and I didn't understand that. But I was also like, you have a family now. Like, you have to be a component. Like, if what am I doing here otherwise? So that wasn't moving, that wasn't changing, and we weren't fighting, but we were kind of just like roommates or friends whenever he was in town. So whenever it got to the point where we were kind of bickering or disagreeing more often, I was like, okay, this isn't what I want. I'm just gonna go back home to California. So I manifested a way out of that, even though I really didn't have two pennies to rub together because I was a new mom, first baby, didn't have a job, and my husband that was working out of town all the time also was barely making enough money for us to make ends meet. So it was just a tight squeeze and it just wasn't working. So I already started with that desire for more, to expand, to do something different. Whether that looked like it was going to be with him or not. I gave him the option to move with me, and that was not in the cards for him. So that didn't happen. But I was like, I know what I want, and this isn't it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move. And I did. And then I started all over again. I did the same thing with my ex, who was more of an abusive type situation, and manifested, through that one with the skin of my teeth. But I did it, and I did it actually a couple times with that person, but I was, things weren't moving forward. Things weren't working. Things were, you know, either they weren't working or they were getting to a dangerous space, depending on the situation that I was in. And I had to get creative. I had to make an opportunity for myself to get out of those situations. And yeah, it was rough. The transition was rough, but ultimately it was for my highest good and for the highest good of all of my children. I think Jay might have just pulled up. I don't know if he's coming in or if he's just working around outside. But stay tuned for that one, I guess. So in those big situations, I did that. And in situations like with work, with jobs that I've had before, I was in, I was in customer service for a really long time. I started out with customer service in high school with my high school jobs, and then I just kept getting customer service jobs. And I got like assistant manager right out of high school, and like, I was doing good getting these higher positions right off the bat. But I really did not like customer service. Working with the general public is not my idea of a good time. So because I wasn't enjoying what I was doing, it was just like draining me to even go to work. I decided, oh, you know what? I want to start working an office job, and I want to make a lot of money doing it. So I started out like at a temp agency for this office job, and it was just for a little mom and pop, like oil filled compressor mechanic company. Okay. Pumps and compressors is what they worked on. My nose is tickling since we talked about it. So I started out with that job, and it was a couple dollars more than what I was getting working my retail job. But, it was the experience. It was a temp agency, so I wasn't getting benefits or anything, but I was getting the experience, and they were wanting to hire permanently. So I stayed on, and then I stayed on longer with the temp agency because they didn't want to pay, workers' comp insurance on a new hire yet. So they held off on that. But I stuck with it and was making shit pay for the job that I was doing so that I could get hired on. And once I got hired on, I started making double what I was initially hired through the temp agency, what it was being paid through them. So and it just happened really effortlessly. I was just like, hey, I think I'm going to go get an office job. And then I went to this temp agency, only place that I put in for anything. I was like, I have a job already, but I want something different. So I did that, just put it in. And they were like, hey, we've got this one place in the town that you live in. Here's an opportunity. Why don't you go in for an interview? And I went in for the interview, got the job that day in the interview, like seamless. I created these opportunities for myself when things weren't working. It wasn't because I was in this position where, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. The walls are closing in. I need to do something. It wasn't out of that energy. It was more of, I'm good for now, but I want something different. So I'm going to open up my options, and then we're just going to go and see, how that pans out. So in that space is where you want to be. It's not out of desperation or out of lack that you want to be trying to create these opportunities, because that's when you can get things to backfire on you. You did 7 years. Everything I've ever left behind possession wise has always been returned multiple. Yes, absolutely. Okay, he's doing work out here. I heard the lawnmower turn on. Getting to Greece is taking longer, and I've been dreaming of it longer, but I have faith. Yes. It's just, the time, Susan. That's all it is, but it's calling you for a reason. So stay in that. Life is really good right now, but let's see what kind of opportunities Greece has to offer and see what kind of things change for you then. You can create miracles out of literally nothing. So don't ever get so down that, these opportunities aren't coming along or you're not manifesting these things. Just get in that childlike curiosity, like we're always talking about, pondering energy, right? I wonder how good it can get. I wonder what kind of opportunities I can manifest. I wonder when Greece is going to send me my ticket to move, right? Um, so keep working with that energy. It is really difficult whenever you have a certain expectation or a certain want or desire that's so, deep. We're holding on too tightly to the outcome or the manifestation, so it doesn't have that room to really come to fruition. I've been doing office work for 31 years. I'm tired. 8 years serving table. Dang. Yeah. Office work is not fun either. It's a lot, and it's in a different way. Like, the people with retail was really difficult, but then also doing and taking care of everything for everyone, because I was ultimately became the office manager, and it was a small mom and pop place. So I was the only one doing any kind of office work at all. Any kind of paperwork, it was on my desk. Any kind of work with the employees, I was doing it, all of that stuff. I did everything from payroll to new hires even. So I was HR, I was accounts payable, accounts receivable, I was payroll, I was everything. So I totally understand that. It is so much work. Which is why, well, I started having seizures while I was in that job. So I physically couldn't work that job anymore. That's when I started losing memory and like not being so coherent, all the time. So just because I was having multiple seizures, like 20 seizures a day. But I was like, I was conscious, I was there, but I was not in control of what was happening with my body. And it was only like a minute or two and very like petite mal type seizures. But yeah, I had to quit working that job. I heard of workaway info. No, I haven't. Oh, Susan. Okay. There you go. Give Susan all kinds of stuff. Yes, you have a beautiful apartment and kids where they have great college opportunity. Yes. Yeah, you handle 20 stores. That's insane. That's a lot. That is a lot of responsibility, Suzanne. And you are so graceful about how you handle all of that. I love it. The Capricorn in me sees the Capricorn in you. I don't know if you have Capricorn in your chart, but that's a totally Capricornian type of energy. Are you Capricorny? Dallas, love you, girl. The air, the water. It's so gorgeous. I have never been outside of the US, but not yet anyway. Definitely will. But Greece would be top of the list for me too, Susan. So why don't we go together? We'll manifest just a community trip. All of us go to Greece. I think that would be perfect. Don't worry about me over here in my bathing suit, okay? Mind your business. Worked in electronics, went into shipping and became a boss in that department. Glad I'm retired now. Yeah, I bet. That would be difficult. Shipping would be very difficult. All of these, slave type jobs are not ideal. So that's why we're meant to create. That's why we're meant to do what we love, do what we enjoy doing, do what benefits us. And this keeps freezing, but yeah. Well, I guess we can start to close today out. Friend is living in Greece. Send you pictures. Oh, Corey's got a hookup. Corey's got a hookup in Greece. We're all gonna just flop on her friend's couch. How about that? How many couches they got? Yes, go to Greece, Suzanne. Go. You deserve it. I bet that would be so wonderful for you. You're a beach babe. All right, guys. Well, I love you. I'm going to get off of here and start getting ready to go pick up my kiddos from school. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me. I will let you guys know what tomorrow's topic is going to be later on this evening. Tomorrow is going to be regular time, so it's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and 1 a.m. British Summer Time. Thank you, Wendy. I'm so glad that you got to join us too. Yes, everyone will come along. Definitely. We'll just get a private jet because we're wealthy. I love you guys.